So removing these, I'm using a 12. Again, you have fairly decent amount of space for these. So you break it, you break the tank that's being tight, and then just kind of squeeze my hands here, and as you can see, my hands can turn it loose. And again, it has a washer, so try to hold on to the washer. And this is the other side of it. That one is not easily hand loose yet. See my hand back there trying to loosen it, but it's not. It's not loosened enough to use my hands, so still look like it's pretty. So it seems to be a lot looser enough. I use my hand to loosen it. So the two screws are right there, and it's got this mount here. It's got this thing here, but we just want to remove it from the engine cover. That's all we really care about. Make sure these are in nice and tight, and I believe that's all that is holding that engine cover. So let's see if we can lift these up. What's amazing to me is that there is nothing else. I guess I need both hands to do this lifting. There we go. This is the engine cover. It's a little heavy. So I'm gonna set these to the side. Oh, let me show you something real quick. So this is where that other piece, where there was that the gasket, the thin gasket that was covering, that's where it's covering. You can see the bottom hole is the bigger one, and the top hole, I have this sitting upside down right now. So and that's the 4 bolts, which took literally 45 minutes to get through all 4, to get those 4 screws out. That's the hardest part of this whole process, and the rest is easy. So they recommend you change this gasket. I got those on eBay. They were like $20, and you can get them from your local store. I don't think it was much difference in price. This is the 3rd one, which is why we have to completely go through all this trouble. These are the 3 ones, and now it's just a matter of taking 1 screw out, unplug the wiring harness. That's the wiring harness. Unplug those, pull them out, and inside there will be that's the coil. This is the coil. It's hard to, there are some diagnostics they can do to tell you which of this coil is faulty, why it's using more gas, but I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to go ahead, replace all 6, and I recommend you do that when you change the spark plug. In my case, I didn't. I changed the spark plug, so I went through this process just a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago, only to turn around and find out that I should go ahead and change those to the coil. So for you guys out there, if you decide to do your spark plug, just go ahead, replace those coils. Even if you can't, like I said, there is no way to tell whether they're good or bad unless somebody runs some kind of diagnostics on it to tell you. So I would strongly suggest that you go ahead, replace the spark plug with brand new ones and those coils with brand new ones, and you're done with this whole process. because it's too tedious of a walk to some extent to try to go through it a second time. But the advantage of that for me is I'm able to make this video the second time around, and I know which screw to take out and stuff like that, so you don't have to go through trying to know where to take what out. So that's the whole point of making this video. So now I'm gonna change those plugs, those coils. I'm not gonna change the spark plug, but the spark plug, you need a deep socket, special deep socket that you can get that for spark plug remover in any what they call it, AutoZone or Pep Boys. I'm gonna take one of these out and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It looks like the new one that I showed before, and you know, I'm not gonna remove the spark plug, but the spark plug is just in that hole. Okay. So this is the brand new one. Instead I bought 6 of them from eBay. So we're gonna go with these. This is a 10 millimeter range. You take that off and loosen it up again. And this, move this out of the way. You just squeeze. You squeeze this lock, and it basically pops right out. You pull that out, and let's take these off. Washer. Put that right there. And this, as that, shake this loose. It should come off relatively easily. That's it. You can see it's kind of a little rusted there, but just mere looking at it doesn't tell me anything. I can't tell you if something is wrong with it, but someone recommended on online that they recommend you replace them. So inside this hole is the spark plug. You can kind of see it right there. That's the spark plug. I just replaced those 3 weeks ago. They should be fine. You use if you need to replace it, you're using a socket to replace those. So I'm gonna take the new one and just gonna go slide that back in there. Just didn't hear any locking in there, but you can kind of tell that it sits in properly. And just put the screws back. You can't put these wrong. I guess just the fact that the screw is only on one side, so you don't have much of a choice on any other way. You can't put it wrong. Just making sure it sits in properly, and we're gonna use that 10 ring. To tighten it. So let's make sure it's tightened enough without over tightening it. Seems to be sitting pretty good. And then we put the plug back in. The plug, you kind of hear a click in there. So that's it. 1 down, 5 to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the rest of them, and then we'll go through the process of try to put all this stuff back together. So I finally replaced all 3 with brand new ones, and took out the old ones. I Also replace this. This is the new gasket. This is the old one. You can tell all we have to do now is, I didn't do the front side yet, but that's the easy part, and we have to put back all the stuff we took apart. So I'm going to grab this guy and let's start the process of putting everything back. The opposite way of the way we took everything apart. Let's just trying to do this with one hand. That's it. Kind of sits back in like that, and we're gonna try to put these things back together the same way we took it apart, by first replacing the very last thing we took was these 4 screws. So we're gonna put those back.